You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
I'm Katrina, and I love anime.
I'm Steven, and I'm aware of anime.
But what if that affection could rub off?
Perhaps that excitement in her eyes got me curious.
I could offer up some solid anime.
I could give them a watch, just to see what all the fuss is about.
And maybe, just maybe,
I could learn to love anime too.
Welcome to Inspired by a Weeaboo.
Hello and welcome back to Inspired by a Weeaboo. I am your host Katrina, and with me is my husband Steven.
Hello.
We just finished episode 14 of Fullmetal Alchemist. Steven, what did you think?
This is one of those episodes that makes me not want to do a podcast. It just wants me to, I want to keep watching, because this is it was a good episode. It's a really solid episode, and things are starting to get answered, and, you know, new wrinkles are starting to kind of come about, and I just want to keep watching. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to keep watching, So, as predicted, they followed through with a few lines that they had, or threads that they had touched on in the last episode. Main one being Marcoh and trying to figure out who he is. Now, I was wondering if they were being tailed or not, but they gave no other indication than someone was in the general area in which they were in, and then they just kind of disappeared. But I don't feel like that was the person who gave away their position. Could be wrong, but I was a little taken aback by the presence of the Brigadier Prickhead showing up after they had confronted Marcoh. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we picked up from the conversation from the last episode about, with Hughes and Mustang kind of discussing everything. And then they even kind of went back to the desert town, and we got to see Lust and Envy and Gluttony having kind of a round table discussion about what's going on. Now, help me. I felt like some of my details got a little muddy here. Okay. So, did the insurgents, I guess, of the alchemy, or the alchemists, the military force coming in, did this happen like immediately after they left?
Not immediately after, because it was more Envy started kind of strife between the citizens, and the citizens started fighting. And then that is what, I won't even say forced, because they weren't forced. It's something that, is part of the storyline or whatever. But that's what brought the military there.
Okay. Now, was Marcoh part of this group? Is this where he left?
Marcoh,
no, okay, so...
No. Marcoh left after the war in Ishbal.
So, okay, so I guess that's where I was getting it confused, because I was wondering if Ishbal was the place where all this was happening.
No. Ishbal's a whole nother country.
Okay, so maybe I missed the name of the other town.
I'm pretty sure it's considered a country. I'm most positive it's considered its own country. But no, Ishbal is a totally different place. They've touched on it a little bit. The flashbacks where you see Roy, when he hesitated in his battle with Edward, when you see the little boy, that was in Ishbal.
Okay. So I guess because they kept intercutting to the insurgents happening there, and as they were talking with Marcoh and all that stuff was going on. So I got confused for a moment, thinking, was he part of that group, and that's where he left? But the timing of everything just didn't add up, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense, because it felt like he'd been gone for some time, and this seemed like this was just happening. So, okay, so that town is not Ishbal, and that's... I don't even remember the name of the town. but because that was like episodes ago, 12 episodes, 13 episodes ago.
You know, Ishbal, the people...
Are they going to touch on it at some point?
Scar is from Ishbal, so they look like him.
Okay, so that explains some details later on. See, now you've spoiled something.
I don't feel like I've spoiled nothing
Kinda.
because they've already said that he was Ishbalian.
Well, apparently I missed that. So no spoilers. I just didn't pay attention hard enough. I don't know. The sound has been a little loud in places and quiet in others. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Surround sound. What are you going to do? So they go, or the Elric brothers go and look for Marcoh. They find Marcoh. Obviously, he's in a panic because he thinks they're there to take him in. And it sounds like he did kind of bail.
Oh, yeah, he 100% bailed. He left the army, he left everything, and went into hiding. But you find out why.
Yeah, would you say it was just like he was done with everything? Like he just...
You'll find out why.
Okay, so
I can't say that it's he was done. It's...
Okay, you don't have to go into great detail.
You'll understand why the Ishbal War is a touchy subject for the military, especially like Roy and them.
Well, that's what I was wondering because I don't remember him going into great detail about it.
No.
It was just like I left. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to be done.
No, you'll get more information about it.
So I just kind of took it as he was fed up and just bailed out. So they didn't go into great detail, but then, they kind of mentioned the red water situation, trying to convince him that everything was okay, that they're not there, they're not the enemy. They find out that he was hanging on to a remnant of the red water, which he had kind of his own stone, very similar to the priest, I guess, with the ring.
Yes.
And
although his
seem a lot more potent.
Yeah, yes.
Because we find out through, and I'm assuming this all occurred at the Ishbal War as well, when Brigadier Prickhead busts in.
Yeah.
And he sees it. He mentions that this is what... So it clearly explained his motive from... I mean, no question, he's all about power. He wanted that stone. He wanted that power back. That's all he cared about. That's why he's doing what he was doing.
He's all about military power. He is one of those, like, jarheads that he doesn't give two shits about anybody.
Yeah.
If it's something that can blow up and massacre millions of people, he wants his dirty little fucking hands on it. Like, he does not care. He just wants that, he wants to stand on that high pedestal. And of course you got to see him get knocked down.
Well, I mean, just seeing what he did with that stone turning into like a gunman. I don't know another way to put it.
Yeah,
holy shit, that's...
Yes.
Wow.
You'll see more of the different alchemists and what those stones did to amplify their powers during the war.
Okay. Don't spoil things.
I'm not spoiling it. I'm just saying.
You're telling me things.
You'll get to see more than just the prickhead.
Well, sure. I would assume that's how that's going to work. But yeah, I was not. I guess I was a little surprised they took him down so quickly. But Scar shows up and blows his head clean out, and I was like, good, good.
Yeah.
Fine. We don't need this prick anymore. He's already... Because if we had... I'm so happy about that for the simple fact that this is a character they could have dragged through every episode, and it's like, here's this prick again. Oh my God, we got to listen to him showboat, and it's all about the military. Alchemy. But they just... They let us know who he was. They gave us his motive, and then it's like, well, you know what? We don't need him. Because he's a one-dimensional character at that point. Because that's all he's about. Power, power, power. And they quickly showed he's got none. No matter how big and bad he thought he was. Scar fucked him up. Just one pop. And all of his head just kind of sprayed out the back of his noggin. And I was starting to, I understand that Ed and Al are the main characters, but I got a little concerned for him because this dude is, he's a threat. Like all he's got to do is touch you and you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm really starting to worry how that's going to work out. And they take off with Marcoh, trying to keep him away from him because this guy Scar is hunting down State Alchemist. He was very specific about that, which I was going to cry foul that he was just after Alchemist. And I'm like, well, dude, you are using alchemy too. So you are a hypocrite if you're taking down all alchemists while using alchemy. But he said State Alchemist. So considering what you said about him being Ishbalan, I'm starting to understand his motives. There's something in that war that has to have happened or occurred that has him absolutely hating State Alchemists. So we will get to that, I'm sure. They get cornered in this tunnel, and this is where I got concerned because I know that, again, they are main characters, but Ed is he acts without thinking sometimes, and when he just started lunging at him, that's exactly what the Brigadier General did, and I was like, dude, don't do this, man.
Yeah.
And luckily on several occasions he had luck on his side because one, Al stepped in. He got damaged, which I was also curious about that too. So at least they showed that. So I was hoping that he wouldn't have been able to hurt Al at all. And I thought, aha. But when I saw the damage on his armor, I was like, oh, shit. So it's not meant for metal, his alchemy spell, but it still damaged him. So it's still kind of in this, at least it gives me more concern for Al. Again, understanding they are main characters, but it still gives me concern for his well-being because that doesn't mean he can just step in and be like, what? What are you going to do? Now, granted, he's not after him because he's not a State Alchemist. So he has that gray area where he can stay out of it, but he's still going to be in the middle of it because he's going to try and protect Ed, which means Scar's going to be like, I'll take you out just to get to him, so it doesn't matter. So they're both a threat.
Yeah, which is literally what, Scar says to him. He only kills State Alchemists and those that stand in his way. So
Al's got a target on his back just the same.
Yeah.
And Ed does it again. He goes at him again, and I was like, he lucked out. He
went after him the second time because Scar made the comment of, showing him what it felt like to lose a brother.
Right, I understand, and it was this he reacted the same way that Al did when Scar went after Ed. But still, just that non-thinking. He gets his hand on you, buddy, and you're going to die. But luckily, he grabbed the wrong arm, and he's like, automail, aha. Well, but if he can hurt Al, what makes him think he can't get through that automail? I mean, that's another concern I have. He's learning all their little tricks and secrets right then and there. So he's going to change tactics. He doesn't seem like a stupid person. He's going to take this and he's going to say, okay, he is metal. I can do this or adjust my alchemy. He's got automail. I'm going to just have to adjust this. And my tactics are going to change when facing off between these two. So you said this dude is a good guy?
Yes. He's not, obviously, he is not a saint. He's not. But he has his reasons for what he's doing. And he does end up, having one of those redeeming qualities. Or has redeeming qualities.
So this wouldn't... He's not going to be a Negan-ish character. He's like someone who actually has a redemption arc that you can be like, I forgive your past transgressions.
I mean, I wouldn't say his redemption arc is like, oh my God, but I also wouldn't dismiss it because, like, he's not a bad person.
Well, I mean, killing the Brigadier General did not break my heart one bit. But if he was to kill someone that we actually care for, it'd be a little hard to be like, well, dude.
I mean, he already has. He killed Nina and Alexander. He exploded them.
But he did that out of pity.
I know.
He did that out of pity.
Make it okay.
I know, but I'm looking at it. That was not out of malice. That was out of pity. He saw the pain they were in, and he put them out of their misery. Sad, but that's what he did. So I give him a pass on that because of his reasoning for doing so. Mm-hmm. But then, as everyone is facing off, you got all excited because we
did
introduced to Armstrong.
Yes.
What did they call him? The Iron
Major Armstrong. He is the strong arm alchemist.
Strong arm.
And I love him.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to keep going, because when they got into the throwdown, this dude did not give a shit about Scar. He was like, dude, you think you're going to take me on? And it wasn't even like, I'm just going to bum rush like the idiot Brigadier did. He was like, no, dude, I have tactics you don't even understand, and I'm going to fuck you up. And then just the fight broke out, and then they cut away, and I was like, no. Yeah. Because this was the big throwdown. I wanted to see them, get into it really hard. Yeah. But then they go back to Rose, who we kind of saw at the beginning, like shielding some children back in the town. Yes. And then she seemed like she was having a go with some state alchemists. Yes. Who seemed kind of dickish. Yes. And I'm not quite sure what they were up to. Like what...
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they are also under command of the Iron Blood Alchemist, which is the one that Scar killed.
So they're just there doing Dick stuff because of Dick told them to.
Motives.
Okay. So I'm assuming we'll continue on with that thread, because I don't want them to have just... We seem to be going back to this town, and I don't want them to just be like, oh, well, we're going to go back over here now. It's like, no, you kind of went back over here. There's something going on here. We need to stick with this for a moment, because I want to see what's going on over here. But at the end, Ed and Al did get away with Marcoh, and they gave him his stone back, and I guess they're going to travel together?
Well, they're going to... I don't remember how long they stay together. I think they're just trying to find him someplace safe to stay.
Gotcha. Because they know, they're trying to keep him not only away from Scar, but just free of... Because he did get taken by the Brigadier General, and then, of course, that's where Scar showed up. We kind of overshot all of that. But yeah, that's where a lot of that went down, because they were going to take him away, and then Scar's like, no, I'm going to kill all of you. And he was willing to die, which understandable. He thought his goose was cooked, and now he...
No, he has reasons.
For wanting to die?
He has reasons specifically for being okay with Scar killing him.
Okay. Well, see, you keep telling me these things that I probably won't find out about for episodes, and we're just going to have to drag through all that.
You'll just have to wait. Builds that anticipation.
I guess. I just feel like you're telling me things that I don't need to know right now, but whatever. So, understanding that they could probably learn some stuff from this guy, I would assume. And I have a hunch he knows a little bit more about the Philosopher's Stone than he's maybe telling them. Because even though he's been dabbling with the red water, he has to know something. And at least Ed does kind of mention that he's not interested in that. He wants the Philosopher's Stone. He doesn't want all this fake shit. He wants the thing, not a
Yes.
fake, not a ripoff, not something that's so close you could taste it. He wants the genuine article.
Yes.
So they keep, because he thought that was it for a brief moment, and they just continue like, here it is. Nope, it's not it. Let's get on with the next one, because I want to see what's going on.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and get on to the next episode. So why don't you lead us out?
Weebs, go tell all your friends that they can listen to our podcast on their favorite podcasting platform. They can listen a week early on patreon.com/pencilpaperproductions. They can keep up with all things at pencilpaperproductions.com/inspired Weeaboo, or you can listen on YouTube at youtube.com/pencilpaperproductions.
All right, my weebs. We'll see you next time.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.